I have been power of communication and the impact. Our children are watching us and they're listening, and they need to see positive examples. And if you believe that you have a voice, that you have a story, that I read something that really grabbed me. It said, write a book worth reading or live a life worth writing about. Let me repeat that again. Write a book worth reading. Her book is now #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. Or live a life. I train speakers and I teach them that the best speakers make the fewest words go the farthest. The best speakers make the fewest words go the farthest. Something that I've considered a masterpiece that you just could not take exception to, and you just had to sit with some of those quotes in there and just take it in for a minute. You just couldn't digest this because it was potent. You need a little chaser with it. It was potent. If you believe that that's important, because believe me, we have so many young people who have it like that, and we don't get a chance to see them. We don't. She is not the exception. Okay, there are many, but unfortunately, the media don't focus on them, and that's why I'm so grateful. I want to share something with you that I want you to write down. The best speakers make the fewest words go the farthest. She clearly did that. The best speakers make the fewest words go the farthest. To be or not to be, that is the question. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. That when you are able to communicate and be selective of the words that you use, that will be deep and penetrating, and people have to marinate with it and meditate on it for a minute. That speaks for itself. Here's something else. She didn't just speak the words. I want you to keep this in mind about great communicators, people that I'm training. My classes have been filling up and running over. People now see what I've been talking about, the power of communication, that she experienced them. You know that these were not just words that she was sprouting out, that this was who she is. And we felt that in every word that she delivered. And that's very important. It was not just a reciting something that she wrote, but identifying with and being at one and congruent with the words that she spoke. And that's why we felt it. That's why we felt it, not just in terms of hearing it, but we heard it in our ears and in our hearts. And so it's one thing to recite words, but there's something else to experience the word. The other thing is that where there was limited television viewing, that's major. There are algorithms on computers and television that's literally programming all of us, and particularly our young people, and warping and corrupting their thinking and their vision of themselves. And so I want to ask you, what is it you want to do with your life? The air feels better. Don't you feel lighter? I didn't get up this morning and ask what happened today. I think I'm going through withdrawals, PTSD. I don't know. But let me share this with you. Maximize this moment. Yes. Just think about this. I see this as a God moment. A God moment to look at yourself, at your goals, at your dreams, look at our children, look into the future, look behind and thank God, look around and praise God, look ahead and follow God, go within and seek God. And at this point in time, this is a time to take charge of your mind, number one, of putting positive things in your mind on a daily basis. I want you to go to hungrytospeak.com. We got some motivational messages there for you to watch and to listen to on a regular basis. And for those of you that would like to be coached and trained by me to teach you how to use your voice, and now more than ever. Why? Well, number one, there's no such thing as job security. And your ability to communicate, it's your superpower. It's your superpower, your ability to communicate. There's no way that I would have been able to be successful in television and radio and becoming a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio, or doing what I'm doing now, speaking nationally and globally around the world virtually. I don't travel anymore. Don't want to do that. Homie don't want to do that. And neither does Tyrone, but that's another conversation. But this is a time in the attention economy. Listen to me. In the attention economy, in order to call attention to yourself and hold the attention and to motivate and inspire and direct the attention, your ability to communicate is your superpower. Warren Buffett said, not being able to communicate is like being in a dark room with a woman and wink. He says, nothing happens. Nothing happens. And so this is a time in order to advance your career in corporations. They're saying that your ability to communicate, your communication power, your presentation power is more important than your technical skills, because you got to work with people. You got to be able to communicate ideas and concepts and get things done and create an environment of people being together, even though they are far apart. And the people who can communicate in this world, in this new world order, in this environment, are the people that are going to win, are the people that are going to dominate their market, are the people that are going to be the effective leaders. Communication, it's your superpower. Invest in yourself. Put in the time and the effort to learn. And when Warren Buffett graduated from Harvard University, the first thing he did was he took a communications course. And so when I think about my life, there's no way that I could have accomplished what I've accomplished in millions of lives that I've been able to touch had I not been willing to invest in myself to develop my communication skills. When I had Mr. Leroy Washington at Booker T. Washington High School in Overtown in Miami, who said, young man, once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. And I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you. If you're ready to take your life to the next level, if you want to have a competitive advantage in pursuing your goals and your dreams, allow me to coach you on how to do that. And we will share with you. We had a class the other day, and I mean to tell you, people would just say, oh my God, I had no idea. See, in order to be successful, one of the things that's important is being around the right people, being in a community of people that have experience, that have a track record, that's known, because that association brings credibility and respect. And so this is a time that you want seasoned, experienced, trained eyes looking at you and helping you to connect with your power voice, helping you to begin to develop the greatness that you have within you, helping you to begin to manifest the potential and to bring out the greatness that you have lying dormant in you right now, to develop new relationships, to build national and global networks of people who believe in you, who trust you. Today in business, people look at you, they're asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? And your ability to communicate that is major. That determines whether or not you're able to negotiate well, or make a point, or influence people, or make a sale, or build an organization. Communication, communication power. If you believe that that's important, and if you'd like to improve your communication skills, and there are a lot of people, they don't know what they don't know and they think they know. There's certain nuances, there's certain strategies in communication that when you learn them and through practice and through coaching, it changes your revenue, it impacts your bottom line. It will empower your advancing in your career. The things that I've been able to do, my kids that are standing behind me, they know the value of effective communication skills. You know, one of the most difficult things to do is work with your children and get them to see what you see, but they know, and they're very successful in what they do. And so as you look at yourself, look at your goals, and look at your dreams, this is the time. It's a brand new day. We really should be going all in, going all out, not sitting back waiting to look for things to change. No, be a part of the change. Become the architects of our own future, not having any fear of anyone, but moving forth, being of good courage, and designing the life that you want rather than the life that you have been handed. Whatever your goal, whatever your dreams are, I'll show you how you can use your voice to advance yourself, how you can use your voice to overcome the obstacles, how you can use your voice or any barriers that's in front of you, how you can use your voice to create a life that you can be proud of, that your future self will say, thank you so much for making that decision. I am so excited. I'm looking forward to working with you. It's confirmation of the power of communication. Her book went to #1 on New York Times bestseller list, and people around the world are still talking about who spoke, and people listened and felt it and responded and were in awe. People said, you know what? I want to do it like that. And we can help you do that. If you're ready to take your communication skills, your speaking skills, your presentation skills to the next level, to increase your knowledge, to increase your approach in your market, to dominate your market, if you're ready, your voice plays a major part of that. Your voice is your superpower. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Thou shalt decree a thing that shall be established unto you. Death and life is in the tongue. This is your time. This is your time. This is a breakthrough moment. Don't sleep this. Don't sleep this moment. Move with a sense of urgency. Don't sleep this moment. It's a brand new day. A brand new day. And I'm looking forward to working with you.
As you are such a powerful speaker, you spoke about powerful speaking. How did you become such a powerful speaker yourself?
Well, people say that I'm a powerful speaker. I think I'm a much more effective speech coach. But I study. I believe that as you look at yourself and you have the sacred opportunity to speak to audiences, to inspire them, because at the end of the day, when we speak to an audience, there are three things that we want to accomplish. We want to change their collective thinking. That's number one. And how they see themselves and the story they believe about themselves. The second thing is that our goal is to not only change their thinking, but to broaden and to expand their vision of what's possible in their lives. And the third thing is to inspire them to become, as Mother Teresa would say, to become a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in their lives. And so I think that what people admire me for, and why I received the highest award from the National Speakers Association and Toastmasters International Golden Gavel Award, and was selected among the top 5 speakers in the world. I think what they admire me for is the impact that I've made with audiences, achieving the objectives that I just talked about. Because when people hear you speak, the goal objective is for them to leave there feeling better about themselves and talking about the experience that you created for them to get that vision of themselves. Oliver Wendell Holmes said that once a man or woman's mind has been expanded with an idea, concept, or experience, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. And my goal is to, when I speak to an audience, is never allow them to be comfortable with living a life of mediocrity, of being comfortable of being average. With people who are living a level of being average, those individuals are going through life doing the things that they feel that they need to do. But when you're an entrepreneur, you're living from a place of responsibility. You go through life doing the things that you are called to do, that you see yourself answering the calling on your life, doing those things that create value for people, that will make a difference in people, and that will leave a legacy.
How many of you, since you've been here, you have gotten some value that will impact your life personally and your bottom line? Raise your hands, please. That's what I mean. It consists of the wills and the will nots. In order to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today. Invest in yourself, get some coaching. In order to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today. Develop strategic relationships with people that you can learn from, that others won't do. In order to have the things tomorrow, others won't have. You're investing in yourself. You're coming here, flying here, driving here. You're taking the time to learn new strategies and how you can offset the competition. Makes you different. You're uncommon. One great American said, "I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dull by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before a master, nor bend to any friend. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done." That's why you became an entrepreneur. That's why you're here. You have the boldest and uncommon desire to control your own destiny. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on, bring it in.
How do you get ready for an important speech?
Well, one of the things that I teach in terms of preparation for a speech is find as much about the audience as possible. Who are you going to speak to? Do what I call communications intelligence. You want to get all the information about that organization, the mindset of the audience, what are the goals and objectives they want to achieve. We have a needs assessment that we will provide for you. What is it that these entrepreneurs are looking for? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What do they bring to the table of business? How do they see themselves locally and globally in the scheme of things? What is it at the end of that presentation that you want people to walk away from? And then what I do is craft a message. And in the embodiment of that message and that presentation and that workshop, the things that will allow them to achieve those objectives. If it's to improve their skill set, if it's to expand their attitude and their vision of themselves and what's possible for them, if it's to challenge them and to inspire them to take their lives to the next level. Those will be the things that we will emphasize in that presentation, that as a result of them being exposed to that experience and the information and all of the things that I've learned over the years of doing this, that they leave there with something of value that they can sink their teeth into, that they can go and start applying it in their lives and in their businesses.
When I first heard you at NSA when you joined, you told the story of how you learned how to make words beautiful, and you described the process you went through, because you weren't as articulate, certainly as a young man, as you are now. I never forgot those things that you talked about. Could you share how you developed that such unique Les Brown word delivery system that you have? This would be helpful to this group.
That's a good question. Mr. Washington said, "What do you want to do with your life, young man?" I said,
Mike, okay, sorry.
A little closer. It's your microphone. Hold it up a little closer.
okay, he said, "What do you want to do with your life, young man?" I said, "I'd like to become a disc jockey." He said, "Here are my car keys." I said, "What is it?" He said, "I want you to go in my car at 12 noon don't go to the cafeteria, bring a sandwich to school. He said, in order to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. I want you to listen to a guy named Paul Harvey. He's the greatest communicator in the world. He does a program at 12 noon called The Rest of the Story. So at lunchtime, I would be in his car and the air conditioner going, eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches and listening to Paul Harvey, who said, good day. And I studied Paul Harvey. I watched Billy Graham. I turned the volume down. I watched his eyes. He was very intense with his eyes. I studied Zig Ziglar. I learned the value of energy. Zig had energy. Jim Rohn, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. I read other philosophers, Winston Churchill, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it. At the end, there it is. When I train speakers, I say to them, you must be a perpetual learner. As soon as your audience knows as much as you know, they no longer need you. What Robert Schuller said, we must expand or we are expendable. And we're in this place that Peter Drucker said that we must be willing to unlearn, learn, and relearn. So this is a new space. Einstein said the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. So I wanted to make, Mike Williams said, Brownie, you must study and you must be, I don't want to train you to speak in a niche. I want to train you to speak to the world. Because when I told him I wanted him to be my coach, because I saw him speak and he was so captivating and had humor and quotes and well-read. And I said, man, can you teach me to do what you do? He said, yes. So I said, great. And then he asked me a question. James, who you want to speak to? I said, the NAACP, the Urban League. All of a sudden the phone went dead. I say, man, we lost the line. He said, no, we did not. I said, what happened? He said, I don't want to work with anybody who has such a small vision, and hung up again. I called him back. I said, man, please don't hang up on me. He said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to speak to the world. He said, okay. Then we got some synergy. It's a good fit. Because you can. I don't want you to see yourself as Les Brown, LB, Triple P. Les Brown, your platter playing pauper. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. You're not just a disc jockey. I want you to empower and change people's lives. You got that in you. I say, thank you, Mike. Sometimes you, and this is, write this down, sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I think that is part of the key, is the ability, being around people that believe in you oftentimes more than you believe in yourself. I mean, you talk a lot about that in your book. And I mean, I would not be, I don't think I'd be where I'm at with addiction recovery had I not met many individuals that somehow, when I'm talking my way out of any level of living a functional life, even surviving, is having people, you can do it. And I think the difference, though, is when it's puffery versus it really penetrates. Like real nutrition versus, where's Michael Burnoff? Michael Burnoff's somewhere in the building. I think he's downstairs.
Yeah. But I want to say thank you. When my issue dealing with the drugs, and I knew what your passion was, you got to have somebody that you can talk to and you can be transparent with and share things about yourself and know that they won't judge you. Mm-hmm. And so I knew when I called you and told you that I was addicted to drugs, you wouldn't say, you Les Brown, you're the motivator. How in the hell you get hooked on drugs? Yeah. You didn't judge me. I say to speakers, who you are behind the words are far more important than the words that you speak. Yeah. And so because of your compassion, when I'm training and working with speakers, I work first with the messenger, and then the message, and then the delivery. Because if it comes through with the words that you speak, it comes through when you're speaking, that People can feel you or they can just hear you. And they hear you in their heart. But if you want to change an audience or change a person, you have to acknowledge that people are asking 3 questions when they see you. Who are you? What do you have? And can I trust you?
What was the last one?
Can I trust you? Can I trust you with my heart? Can I trust you with my secrets? There's a book years ago I read called Why I'm Afraid to Tell You Who I Am, because you might not like me and that's all I've got. So this is Les Brown, the motivator, who talk about if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And I had to call my friend and say, hey man, I'm dealing with something up in here. And I know you know. And you were so comforting to me. You gave me strength. You said you could do this, man. And that, I knew I had my work cut out for me. And that meant so much to me. And I'm so honored to be here to serve you and your group. And I'm always available to you. I want us to finish life together, but you too young. You know, when I was first diagnosed with prostate cancer, they said I was terminal. My mother had passed, and she came to me in a dream. She had a great sense of humor. She said, baby, she said, I heard you have prostate cancer. She said you missed me. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I woke up, I said, no, Mama. I ain't ready to see you yet.
I have to say something about just it is really interesting what you just said. What a great framework of the messenger, the message, then the delivery. The ability to convey and transfer belief, to transfer ability. Like I have a friend who's 60 years old who 2 weeks, 6 days ago was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Mm-hmm. And I let him know you were coming down here, and he's like, I love Les Brown, and he's like, is there any way you could connect me to him? And
I'd like to talk to him.
Yeah, you did. And what?
Yeah.
Yes. The reason I bring this up.
Did he tell you about our conversation?
Oh, he loved it. He left me a message last night, a group of closest friends, and this
Rick.
is very successful dude, and he is in such a good state of mind right now. You know, he's also aware of the fact that this is not the cancer you want to get, right? Mm-hmm. He's telling me about how he's met in the last week with supposedly the best pancreatic cancer doctor in the world, and he's like, it's across the board. The difference is where some will say, no matter what you do, you got 2 to 5 years, and others where it's like, no, there's no limit. It's, he's like, he's talked to so many people, and he's tired and he's exhausted, and his wife, who's, more along mainstream medicine, and he's but the fact is that conversation with you literally changed the trajectory of this guy's behavior, his thought process. And the reason I bring this up is that when you can transfer belief, hope, to other people, because I think hope is an interesting thing. Hope used in false, superficial ways is like bullshitting people.
Yes.
There's damaging ways to use hope, and hope used in certain ways heals people, right? And so the point is, you talk to this individual, and so it's not just a conversation, though. You have developed this ability, which I know is part of what you do with other people. That's your business, right?
Yeah, but I asked him a key question. I said, why you want to be here? For his wife? For his children?
Kid, yeah.
When you think about man's search for meaning,
mm-hmm.
and Viktor Frankl, he said the Jews that survived the inexpressible cruelties of Nazism. And I went to Poland. I wanted to go to the place where Anne Ryan was, and I went to Auschwitz because I worked with a guy named Sam Axelrod, who was one of my early mentors. He said they either had some spiritual commitment they had with their lives, or some loved one that they were determined to see, or some reason that was bigger than them. And so once I found out that his reason was his family, I started talking about it from that point. I said, let me tell you something, why we're going to do this. And And notice I said, why we're going to do this. I spoke from the end that we got this done. You got to stick a fork in it like you see a basketball game. A guy shoots a basket, and, Steph Curry, and start running down court before they even hit the nets, all right? So that when we speak to people, we want to affirm them. Whenever I speak, I say again and again, you have something special. You've got greatness in you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. What we're doing is where we are breaking through all of the negative conversations that's in the collective consciousness of people. Your passion, your energy, and the words that you use will dismantle and open up their mind where they begin to see. I want everybody to repeat after me, please. It's possible.
It's possible.
I want you to write this down and show you a model that you can use in any type of situation. So if you go get brought in to speak at a corporation, first you want to do a needs assessment, find out their mission statement, and find out what is it they're looking for. And then what I do at the top of your speech, what you want to do is paint the picture of what they say their goals are in their mission statement and say, it's possible. As you begin to look at the Genius Network, the goal and objective of changing the planet, of operating out of the thinking that as we face inevitable death, one day we're going to leave here. What in the meaning and purpose of our lives that will not be undone or destroyed when we are gone? The people that come here at the Genius Network, I want to say to you, Mr. Polish, that those people will be transformed, and the people's lives that they touch, they will be transformed, and this will have a rippling effect into the future that you don't get to see. Let us say together, it's necessary.
It's necessary.
That as you decided to do this and get involved in doing the greater work, greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world, that you decided, I got to do this. You got to, Ken helps it. That you said to yourself, I want to live a life that will outlive me. I've had a defining moment in my life that I'd lost myself in drug addiction, and then there was a defining moment that I said, this is not me. And I died to who Joe was then to give birth to this Joe that you now see. And I decided it was a non-negotiable with my life. I want to live a life that will make an impact. The things that I've gone through will not define me. They will refine me so I can live a life of contribution. Let us say together, it's you.
It's you.
It's me.
It's me.
George Bernard Shaw said the people that make it in his life, they look around for the circumstances that they want, and they can't find them, they create them. And so you decided that I'm going to take a stand with my life. Therefore, taking you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, that having done all to stand. You decided when something happens, there's a victim, there's a perpetrator, and there are the witnesses. And you decided, I'm not going to be a witness. You decided that if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And that gave birth to the Genius Network. You see what I did with it? How you edified the person who started it, who wrote the check, and you make him look good. He will not only write you another check and bring you back. 95% of my speaking engagements are repeat, and they give me referrals. You want to fry the fish while the grease is hot. Is there anybody else you know that can use my services? All right,
I'm back. I'm starting the Les Brown Leadership Entrepreneurial Institute, teaching our young people how to go into business for themselves, teaching them how to become entrepreneurs, giving them a larger vision of themselves, letting them know that you don't live life as it is, you live life as you are. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Transforming their mindset, teaching them the skill set that's required in this new economy of accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. Letting them know that this is a time where you have to learn, you have to unlearn, learn, and relearn. Unlearn the way that you've been operating and thinking and behaving. And you must relearn because things are constantly changing. And so my vision has been, and I did it in Washington, D.C. and in Chicago, training kids and their parents and relatives together. I'm going to do it. I'm getting ready for 2023. And I want, if you believe as I believe, what you're about to see is something that has value. I want to see some fire. Tola, would you please play the video?
Let us say together, there's greatness in me. I can feel it. I was chosen by God for a great work. I was chosen 1 out of 400 billion sperm. I'm destined for greatness because of my choices, because of my values, because of my destiny, because of my family, because of my church, and because it is my right to use my talents and my gifts to the best of my ability.
You are the future world changers. You're the individuals that will begin to write the course of history. Change the world first start by changing yourself. You want to start holding a vision of how you see yourself in the future. I had a vision of myself being a multimillionaire. I had a vision of myself being my own boss. I have a commitment to win. Most people, poor people, don't have a commitment to win. If you ask them a question, ask them to do something, most poor people will say, I'll try. You never want to use the language of I'll try. That's the language of losers. You want to say, if there's something you want to do, I'll get it done. Consider it done. You want to make a commitment. Most people never achieve their goals because of the fact, coming out of poor culture, they have the habits and the behaviors of making poor choices. So they suffer from possibility blindness. You want to be open to the possibilities. Master something you love. I love to speak. I love talking to people. I love to make people laugh. I love to make people feel good. And so therefore, I developed a career that allowed me to do that which I love to do. Tiger Woods loves to do what? He loves to play golf. And because he loves to do that, he has mastered that, and that has earned him millions of dollars. Booker T. Washington said, as you begin to look at yourself and look into the future, your gifts and your abilities and your talents are very important. He says, judge a man not by what he has accomplished, but what he had to overcome in order to reach his goal.
My group, Prospects of the Future, plan on learning at this seminar is how to dare to be different, how to use school and our surroundings as a tool to be successful in life, and how to just be an all-around great person in life and to be successful, as Les Brown is teaching us.
Develop your mind and develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you'll tell the world who you are. How many of you like to be a better communicator? Raise your hands, please.
What we hope to get out of this, our group is actually called the World Changers. What we hope to get out of this conference is just ways to develop ourselves and improve our skills, like our networking skills, communication skills, things like that.
I'm with the group, The Change in the World, and what we've learned is that when we speak, we need to be speaking to connect to others. What we plan to learn is that we need to become excellent servants to become excellent leaders.
Hi, my name is Wale. My group is the Future Leaders of America. And we've learned so far how to acquire knowledge and use it to become successful. And we're yet to learn how to tap into our inner potential and inner greatness.
My name is Joseph, and I'm in the Achievers group. I plan to learn how to be a good, successful leader and how to be able to manage money and to make right decisions financially in the long run.
In order to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today others won't do. In order to have the things tomorrow, others won't have.
My name is Tammy Dicey, and my group's name is Think Big, Make It Big. One thing we learned is that it's good to dare to be different. One thing we hope to get out of this is how to give and take positive criticism.
Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.
Hello, my name is Naray Arekarun, and we are the Billionaire Boys Club. And well, what I've learned so far is that in order to be successful, you have to go and follow your dreams and master your skill. Like when you get a skill, you gotta turn it into something positive.
My name is Ashley Kaminsky, and the name of my group is Future Leaders, and I hope to learn that I can make a lot of money in what I love to do, and what I've already learned is that you can be successful in life no matter what you do.
My name is Tejuwade Wale, and basically, my group is called the Mindset Sisters. And basically, we learned a lot of things. We learned how to, if you have a goal, it should become a part of you. It should become a part of your daily routine. If you see your goal, if you envision your goal, then you should reach for it, and you eventually achieve it, hopefully.
We call ourselves, youth empowered successors.
And basically, what we learned from this Brown show today is about doing what we have to do to get to our future now, and not worrying about the little things in life that doesn't really matter.
I learned to invest in ourselves and to explore new strategies.
What I think that is important that I learned today is that Les Brown, he quoted, speak to connect.
In life, you may not have everything you need all the time, but guess what? Inside of you, you do have everything you need. The appearance might be that you don't have what you need. You may not have the connections. You may not have the resources. You may not have the information. You may not have the education. Okay? But that doesn't mean that you cannot get it. It doesn't mean that you cannot attain it. And it does not mean that you have to be stoppable. Let me hear you say, I am not. I have a better way. Let's say, I am unstoppable.
This just concludes our first evening of our training. You're talking about some incredible young people. Our future is bright because they are here. Our future is just incredible because these young people have goals and dreams and they have a sense of destiny. And so we're just excited about the possibilities. Let me tell you something. Look out, world. You've got some great young people here that's going to come and take it to the next level and create a brighter future. From my lips to God's ears. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's Baby Boy. As I was watching that, they used a law that they used to investigate the mafia, to investigate me. And they said I had sloppy bookkeeping because the city gave me $100,000 to train youth, and I spent $125,000. I spent $25,000 of my own money. And they asked, where'd you get it from? None of your business. It's my money. And I chose not to turn any kids away. And I used my own money. I put my money where my mouth was. But they used the mafia law. Now, is there anything harmful that you saw in that video that would require that they use a mafia law? And the mafia law is a law that's, I think it's called the MICO. I'm not sure what it is, but it's someone knows out there. But what it says is that they asked, that Miami Herald they asked Janet Reno, what has he done wrong? And she said, oh, nothing, but we're just investigating him to see if he's done anything wrong. Wow. Wow. What was wrong in their view? When you're empowering our youth, as long as they're using filthy language and shaking their behinds and acting ignorant, it's okay. That's not any threat to society. But when they have goals and dreams and visions of themselves in the future, and when they're articulate and can express themselves, now that's a threat. Now the person, whoever's doing that, that's a threat. We need to investigate him. And that's what they did to me. And I thanked them for it. Because had they not done that, I would not have left Miami and became the person who I am now. They meant it for evil. God meant it for good. Look at it. Look at God. Won't he do it? Won't he will? So I'm coming back. I'm back. I'm so glad I was born and preserved for such a time as this. Our children need a lot of help.
If you agree with me, I want to see some flames. If you agree, I mean, if you see the booty shaking on these various platforms and just listen to the language of their indecent, filthy language has now become the new normal. They just can't say 2 or 3 words without cussing. Woo! I mean, it's in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. If you believe as I believe, that we need to create a movement to capture our kids' minds from these tablets, from the images that they see of themselves throughout all the platforms in the internet. There are algorithms that's been created in China. They teach and train their kids to become entrepreneurs, how to think, become critical thinkers, how to build businesses, how to invest in themselves and prepare them for the future. And the algorithms through those same platforms in the United States, totally opposite, corrupt their thinking, negative images, a blurred vision, no sense of purpose and direction. However, there's no algorithm between you and I. If you believe as I believe, and I want to see some flames, what you just saw has some value and can make a difference in our kids' lives. Many of those kids now see them and they said, "You changed my life." To God be the glory. Do I have any flames coming up, Calvin? No, I'm talking about on your phone. You're not even looking. Excuse me. He's not even paying any attention to where I am. I got to get somebody with me that can help me. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I've got to get somebody that's going to be focused on my stuff. All right. He's focusing on his stuff, and he should. He should. I don't need that now. I ask you a question. You were someplace else. Your mind's someplace else, and you should be taking care of your business. If you believe as I believe, if you believe that we need to be on point and mean business and developing our children and helping them to reinvent themselves and get a larger vision of themselves beyond the current culture that is designed to deny them, to demonize them, to destroy them, and to help them begin to get a vision of them living a different kind of life. If you believe that, I want to see some thumbs up or some flames up in here. November the 11th through the 13th, I'm going to be teaching and sharing with people some of the things that we use in the Les Brown Leadership and Entrepreneurial Institute, sponsored by the Greatness Center. We will not have any government funding. Those of you that believe in what I'm doing, I'm open to your helping us. I want parents to come with their children, to be involved. We have to change a whole household, the parents and the kids. And I've had parents in training and they loved it.